I need a hunter like you with a red jacket. Double down. I don't believe what I'm seeing.
Ladies and gents, my name is Xander, aka Deislayers, and in this video, we're gonna go ahead and discuss and review this brand spanking new exotic hand cannon, and it's the one from Cade called the Ace of Spades. First of all, let me just say that this DLC is a ton of fun and I am thoroughly enjoying it, which is actually why you guys haven't seen a video from me in a couple days, simply because I've been enjoying the DLC, doing some PvE and some PvP, and thus finally I got my hands on this exotic weapon called the Ace of Spades. And my friends, this hand cannon right here is the best exotic weapon in the entire game, possibly even the best hand cannon, and the reason why that is we're going to get into in just a sec. Now, if you guys want to get your hands on this bad boy, then this is actually a quest line after you complete the campaign. And so I'm not going to discuss exactly what that quest line is, but what I will discuss is how this weapon can potentially 2-tap, all the amazing perks that it's got, some of the best base stats out of any other hand cannon in this entire game, and on top of that, we're going to analyze some of the mechanics so that you guys understand how to utilize this thing better in PvP. The only thing left to do is to eviscerate that subscribe button, and let's jump right into the video. As many of you already know, the very first thing that I love to do is I like to look at the weapon's optimal headshot and body shot time to kills. And so I'm sure that you guys have already noticed this by now, but this thing's doing 70 points of damage in the head and 47 points of damage in the body. Now if we were to then go ahead and associate these two things with an optimal headshot and body shot time to kill respectively, the optimal headshot TTK is at 0.87 seconds and is going to require 3 critical headshots to achieve this. Looking at solely body shots and body shots alone, it's then going to take 5 body shots, but then the body shot TTK goes up drastically to 1.73 seconds. Averaging these two things together by taking 0.87 and 1.73 and dividing by 2, the overall average TTK is at 1.3 seconds. And this is actually exactly what the optimal headshot time to kill was on other weapons in this exact same archetype, like the Barret Devils or the Old Fashioned, before this brand new DLC had dropped. Now the best thing about this overall exotic hand cannon is the wonderful and exceptional exotic perk that it's got, which is truly what makes this bad boy a possible 2-tapping monstrosity, and exactly what that perk is called Memento Mori. Memento Mori states that reloading after a kill loads the magazine with a few extra damage bullets and grants radar while aiming down your sights. Having radar while you're aiming down your sights is always a positive thing, as that's going to allow you, the user, to have a much wider variety of playstyles that you can then adapt to be either passive or aggressive, and thus it fits you even better for the way that you play. However, the best part about Memento Mori is that this thing actually adds a few extra damage bullets, and to be more precise, it adds 6 extra damage bullets as soon as you happen to reload after getting a kill. Essentially what this perk acts like is it acts like kill clip, but unlike kill clip, this thing gives you a designated amount of bullets that you can always rely on, and there's going to be absolutely 0 time delay on when the effect lasts because it's based on quantity, not overall time limit. Understanding this key distinctive difference between kill clip and Memento Mori, the very next thing that I've got to say is that when Memento Mori is active and with those 6 bullets, you're then either doing 93 points of damage in the head or 62 points of damage in the body. Now comes the question that you've all been asking yourself, and that is, can this bad boy 2-tap? The answer is yes and no, and let me explain exactly why. So if a Guardian has exactly 201 points of health, which is equivalent to exactly 10 resilience, then this thing cannot 2-tap, as it's going to require 1 critical headshot and 2 body shots to achieve its optimal headshot TTK at 0.87 seconds. Now if we were to look at body shots and body shots only, it's then going to require 4 body shots, which is then going to equate to a 1.3 second body shot TTK. Thus, if we were to compare the weapon with Memento Mori and without the perk, you're then going to recognize that the optimal headshot TTK is actually the exact same thing. However, the leniency in number of shots that you have to land for critical headshots is much less, of 1 in comparison to 3. On top of this, the body shot TTK is going to go down slightly as well, as this is only going to require 4 body shots instead of 5. Having said this, what I want you guys to keep in mind is that this is only applying to a Guardian that has 10 resilience at 201 points of health. Is this how every single Guardian is? No, definitely not. And so what I want to mention next is how this thing can actually 2-tap doing that exact same DPS, because if this is the case, then a Guardian has to have 186 points of health, which is equivalent to exactly 0 resilience in order for the Ace of Spades to 2-tap with Memento Mori and those bullets in the magazine. Once again, is this very likely? No, it's definitely not. But what I want you to note here is that it is possible, and if it is possible, then the optimal headshot TTK when Memento Mori is active is 0.43 seconds with exactly 2 critical headshots. Looking at body shots and body shots alone, the weapon's only going to take 3 body shots, and that's then going to equate to a 0.87 seconds body shot TTK. Given that information, I still want you guys to remember that this is very, very unlikely because most Guardians are not going to have 0 resilience and thus equate to 186 points of health. Nevertheless, this Memento Mori perk is one of the best perks out of any other perk in this entire game, solely because it's not based on a time delay like kill clip is, whereas this one is based on bullet quantity size, thus allowing you to use the bullets at any time that you so choose. On top of that, it allows the Ace of Spades to 2-tap, and that within itself is exceptional and tremendous in so many ways, but more importantly, it's going to do massive amounts of damage when you're team shotting, and as we all know, team shotting is one of the most important things in this game, period. Now, the very last thing that I want to say about Memento Mori is I want you to understand exactly how this perk functions in a PvP environment. And so what I mean by this is that you're going to see a ×6 Memento Mori in the bottom left hand corner of your screen every single time that you proc the perk. Once you fire a bullet, that's going to go down by 1 every single time that you do so. But what's most pivotal to understand here is that even after you happen to get a second kill with those bullets, and you still happen to have some left in your magazine, you might then reload, and then you're going to recognize that Memento Mori is not going to proc again, and you're still going to have the exact same number of bullets that you had previously, and so the only way to get around this is to make sure that you fire those 2 extra bullets before you happen to reload again. If you utilize this weapon to its efficiency in this manner, I guarantee you that you're going to have 6 power damaging bullets back into your magazine, and that equates to annihilation, obliteration, and eradication every single time. Fully grasping as to how Memento Mori works, the next perk that I want you guys to grasp and comprehend is Firefly. And Firefly states that precision kills with this weapon increase its reload speed and cause targets to explode, dealing solar damage to nearby enemies. Whenever you can get enemy Guardians' heads to compound via fiery explosions, it's always such a beautiful sight to see and it's very, very gratifying. But more importantly than that, it's very nice to know that you're going to do some kind of radial damage to enemy Guardians who are standing by. And lastly, you get what I believe is the most important part about this perk, and that is an increased reload speed every single time that you're getting a precision headshot. In essence, this perk is acting like Firefly did back in Destiny 1. But in correlation with that, it also acts like it has Outlaw, and for these 2 perks to be combined into one perk that's going to have a marvelous symbiotic relationship with Memento Mori is what makes this thing so unbelievably powerful, an absolute powerhouse that's going to land critical headshot after critical headshot and definitely make the enemy Guardians a little bit salty. In terms of the weapon's other perks, it still has corkscrew rifling, high caliber rounds, and smooth grip. But of all 3 of these perks, the one that you've really got to understand the most is high caliber rounds. And the reason for this is because not only is it going to give the weapon an increase in range, but it's going to give a massive amount of flinch to the enemy Guardians, which is then going to correlate into them missing more of their shots, while at the exact same time, you're still going to land more of your shots, allowing you to have a much better chance of winning that 1v1, 1v2, and possibly 1v3 engagement. Understanding all the weapons perks via Memento Mori, high caliber rounds, and of course Firefly, you guys can really see as to why this thing is just a bulldozer and incinerates every single Guardian in its path. But the real secret behind as to why this thing is so successful is due to the weapon's base stats. And as you guys can see, the weapon's base stats are as follows. The Ace of Spades has a range factor at 78 out of 100, followed by a moderate stability at 46, and then comes the aim assistance at 70, and best of all, a recoil direction that is 100 out of 100. Out of these 4 base stats, the one that surprises me the most, and probably surprises you as well, is their range factor at 78 out of 100. And that, my friends, makes this one hand cannon have the best base range stat out of any other hand cannon in this entire game, period. The reason as to why range is so important is because not only does it affect the weapon's damage fall off at longer distances, but at precisely the same time, it also affects the weapon's aim assistance at those longer distances, allowing you to do more damage or at least have a higher chance of hitting the target at those ranges. In association with that, the weapon still has a glorious and superb aim assistance at 70, followed by a tremendous and outstanding recoil direction at 100. And with these two things combined, the weapon has one of the best shot rhythms that you could possibly ask for, because not only is the weapon's vertical recoil just that, vertical, but that aim assistance is also going to allow you to have a much better chance at landing those critical headshots, thus obtaining the weapon's optimal headshot TTK. As far as the weapon's other base stats go, it's a little bit weak in the reload speed, but you don't gotta worry about that as long as you're landing those critical headshots, just because it's got Firefly, and that's then going to in turn increase the reload speed drastically. But the only thing that you really gotta worry about here is the weapon's stability at 46. Despite that, the Ace of Spades has no other bad base stats, and this is what makes it even more of an outstanding weapon in correlation and in conjunction with the weapon's other perks like Memento Mori, high caliber rounds, and of course, Firefly. If I had to say whether or not this weapon was good, bad, or neither, I would say it's none of the above, but rather, it is the best exotic can for its lethality and also its two-weapon potential that can just truly annihilate Guardians and make them say, "What the heck did I just get killed by?" Now you're probably asking yourself, is it the best hand cannon in the entire game? And the answer to that is I can't say yet, because I don't have my hands on the Lewis Howell hand cannon. But as soon as I happen to have that bad boy under my belt, I'll definitely give you guys a comparison analysis and truly let you know as to which one I believe is the best among the best and the king among all other hand cannons. The only other advice that I have for you, my friends, is to get grinding as fast and as soon as you possibly can, because this Ace of Spades is certainly not going to let you down, and that is a guarantee. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff down in the comment section below, and whether or not you like the Ace of Spades or you don't, whether you agree with my assessment. As you know, I'm definitely going to read all those comments, and I can't wait to see exactly what you guys gotta say. Lastly, go ahead and check out some of my other new videos, as you guys can see right there on the screen. If you happen to enjoy this one, then you're definitely going to enjoy those as well. That's pretty much all I've got for you as of right now, and so as always, Deislayers, great gaming, until next time.